Madam, I share members' concern that local distributors and retailers should price milk powder appropriately. Another member, Ms. Shun Xieling, has also spoken about milk powder in her interviews with Straits Times and Cao Bao over the weekend. The government is as concerned as members are about the high price of infant formula. We have been monitoring the situation and are taking steps to address the situation. The Health Promotion Board, or HPB, and international organizations, including the World Health Organization, WHO, strongly encourage breastfeeding as it can provide nutritional needs of infants, with the added benefits of promoting maternal and child bonding. Breast milk is the best milk for a growing infant. It has the best constituents to meet the nutritional needs of our infants. HPB recommends that where possible, mothers should exclusively breastfeed their babies for the first 6 months. Between 6 and 12 months, babies should be given breast milk together with complementary foods. For children who are above 12 months of age, cow's milk as part of a balanced diet, and as stressed as part of a balanced diet, is adequate to meet their nutritional needs. So formula milk is not required for children beyond the first year of age. We recognize that, however, in some cases, infants cannot be exclusively breastfed and will therefore need infant formula as a form of supplementation or the main form of their feeding. Hence, we have food regulations in Singapore which stipulate quality and safety standards for infant milk formula to be sold in Singapore. Singapore standards are similar to international standards in terms of required essential vitamins and minerals. Let me assure all mothers and members of the House that all infant formula sold in Singapore, regardless of their price, meets Singapore's food regulations and nutritional needs for infants to grow healthily. Some infant formula companies gave the impression that their particular brand of milk or milk powder can actually do more. The scientific evidence for this is weak. Without better information, parents should therefore be careful about relying on the claims made by infant formula companies or be misled into using price as a proxy for quality of the product. The government will take steps to address this problem, including referencing the best practices in other jurisdictions. Now, public awareness is important to support parents in helping them to decide what is best for their children. HPB, together with healthcare institutions and healthcare professionals, will get the message out, especially to mothers-to-be. Besides consumer education, the government will also do more through these few things. First, to do more through our maternity hospitals. Secondly, to review import requirements to facilitate more formula milk options on our shelves. And thirdly, to put in place stronger consumer protection by tightening advertising and labeling restrictions, as well as regulations. Let me elaborate each of these in turn. First, on the role of hospitals. Hospitals play an important role where healthcare professionals provide information and advice to parents, and infants have many first experiences in our hospitals. All hospitals, both private and public, encourage and support breastfeeding. They will provide infant formula when needed. For example, if the mother is unable to produce enough milk to meet the baby's needs, or for specific medical reasons for which the mother should be discouraged from breastfeeding, for example, when she's on medications or on chemotherapy. The Ministry of Health, MOH, will work with industry players to make available more infant formula options in the hospitals. We will also strongly encourage all hospitals providing maternity services to achieve the Baby-Friendly Hospital Initiative, or BFHI certification. All public hospitals offering maternity services are already BFHI certified today, but private hospitals have yet to come on board, and this is unsatisfactory. BFHI certified hospitals are committed to actively encourage and support breastfeeding targets and are not allowed to enter into sponsorship arrangements with milk powder companies, given the potential for conflicts of interest. We hope private hospitals will see this as beneficial for their patients and will come on board to support this important initiative. The Competition Commission of Singapore, or CCS, recently completed a market study which examined the milk formula industry in Singapore and the nature of competition at each level of the supply chain. CCS will publish its report this week, and more details will be available then. Now, should there be any evidence of companies acting in cohort to increase prices together, CCS will not hesitate to investigate the anti-competitive behavior under the Competition Act. There are several measures that can be taken together to encourage greater price competition between the brands. And in Singapore, the 6 major manufacturers which supply formula milk have a market presence which is much bigger than the other manufacturers. This was also a point highlighted by Ms. Shun Xue Ling in her online survey of about 2,500 respondents. The government will simplify and streamline import requirements as well as remove unnecessary barriers to entry in order to bring in more options for parents, but most importantly, without compromising food safety. Thirdly, let me talk about consumer protection. Besides doing all this, at the same time, we should also improve consumer protection. The government will strengthen restrictions on advertising and labeling. The Sale of Infant Food Ethics Committee Singapore, SIFECS or SIFEX, already has a code of ethics that restricts advertising, marketing, and promotion of infant formula to infants below 6 months in Singapore. Nevertheless, HPB is supporting an ongoing review of the SIFEX code, which will include extending its coverage to all infant formula for infants up to 12 months of age. The Agri-Food and Veterinary Authority, or AVA, will tighten its restrictions on labeling and advertising further, including prohibiting the use of nutrition and health claims and idealized images for infant formula milk. This will also discourage companies from incurring massive costs on aggressive advertising and marketing activities and subsequently passing on these costs to consumers. Taken together, the increased choices available and the improved clarity of labeling should enhance the competitiveness of the infant formula market. Madam, the government is also committed to help ensure that the basic needs of all children in Singapore are met. And in this regard, ComCare provides assistance to low-income families in financial need, including families raising infants and young children. They can approach their nearest social service office or SSO to apply for the ComCare short to medium-term assistance. The SSO will assess their needs, and families may then receive cash assistance for their basic needs. Let me assure members that the cash assistance for families with infants and young children will take into account the costs of infant formula milk. In addition to support for the low-income family, all parents of Singaporean children can tap onto the wide range of support measures under Marriage and Parenthood Package, including the Baby Bonus Cash Gift and Child Development Account to help defray child-raising costs. To conclude, Madam, I would like to reiterate that the government shares parents' concerns about the rising prices of formula milk in Singapore and is committed to addressing them. MTI and other government agencies such as MOH, HPB, and AVA will take steps to increase consumer awareness, encourage good practices in our hospitals, facilitate more formula milk options, and further tighten restrictions on labeling and advertising. The Consumers Association of Singapore case will also remind businesses to price their products fairly and look into consumer feedback on potential profiteering.